This is comfy reading of Kengan Omega with A, the Emperor, and you guys. Let's start. Here is the poster. Kengan Asura. Asura Kengan. Here, table of content. It will be. I'll do one chapter a day since we already had a volume time over some time ago. Volume story time over some time ago. Table of content, chapter 1 Asura. This is so today he'll only post about Asura. Second one is Kangan, third is Visit, fourth is Begin, fifth is Razor, sixth is Superman, seventh Oldest. Chapter 1 Asura. It was a dark corner of brilliant neon lit city, a space between buildings that you'd barely even pay attention to. I don't know where I glanced, don't know whether I glanced down there or whether something caught my eye. Angular features, clean shading, subtle line weight. I miss this art style, man. Holy something caught my holy. But I saw an empty deserted lot behind the buildings where a duel was about to begin. Here are the duelists. Dude, this is just like when Shan Wulong Oma killed the head of the worm Yakuza and took over. Empty lot v Yakuza. One man was there. One man there was a giant who was easily over 190 centimeters tall. Just one glance at his face, I could easily tell that this wasn't any ordinary man. His muscles had soared to a point that you could clearly see them under his clothes, and his dorsal muscle, the linchpin for punches, were protruding almost unnaturally. His dorsal muscles. Yeah. And his fist could easily have been mistaken for a boulder, and it had countless scars on it, large and small. Nobody could ever doubt that this man was strong, and squaring off against presumably strong man was a. But would you call this man invincible? A young man wearing a tracksuit in about his mid-20s. Here is Oma Tokita. Uh, he seemed to be somewhere around 180 centimeters tall, a full head shorter than this giant opponent. They aged Huma up from this later, didn't they? Wow, he was more slim at first. Yeah, I also remember him more buff. Uma actually looks like a normal teen here. On top of that, the giant's head chiseled muscular body was further accentuating the size difference between him and the man in tracksuit. Is he getting in a fight with that giant? He's gonna get himself killed. There's the giant. You're insane. There's my face, my belt. You got plenty of information to work with. If you pay attention to it, you'll be able to tell that I ain't square and that I'm stronger than you, won't ya? But you picked this fight with me, a Yakuza that's far stronger than you. That ain't sane. He's right, says the man hiding. Deva worked for Yakuza. I forgot all about it. Why hasn't Koga tracked him down, waited till he was asleep in his shower, then jumped him and broke his legs? Yet being a criminal is worse than being an assassin in this world after all. Zuma. Nice try, you're half right. His facial feature, he looks like a villain here for some reason. Oh, you want me to check over your answer? First off, you got part about your identity. I could tell you were a yak at first glance. That's that part's correct. Here's what you got wrong. I guess being half right is better than having it all wrong. Uh, you're stronger than me. Wouldn't you quit talking shit and come at me, you big tub of lard? What did he just say? Whatever happened to this Oma? How did we get so lame? True. We forget it to protect his smile. We failed to protect his smile. Hussein should have been like this instead of Shen, but somewhat less airhead. Years ago, someone told me that look at Oma's development in Asura as a Buddhistic enlightenment through martial art. This daily I will see if it fits. He's dead meat now. No, I got one more thing right. You really are fucked in the head. This is a long ass series. Sure you got time for something like this? AI less than half hour a day. What the fuck happened to Daro's art? AI says okay. I like the grittiness of early kengan art, but it probably was for the best that it smoothed out as story went on. The tone became more saccharine with time, and this style wouldn't work. Depression, loss of passion, the cold, unceasing progression of time grinding away at his mind. As the man threw off his shirt, his body seemed to grow formidably. The sight of him seemed like a statue of a Deva king's. In fact, there was a Deva king on this man's back. That's in half an hour a day for like 2 years though. Are you doing Omega as well surely? Yeah, he's going to post one chapter a day. How can he be so huge? Is he Terminator? There's no way in hell he can beat that monster. Oma grins. That's pretty impressive. You made make most bodybuilder look average, but can't you have gotten that big with any half-assed? He threw scraps of clothes to blind him. Monster, does this count as hacks? That's pretty impressive. You would make most bodybuilders look average. It was there all along. We were just green back then. Compliment hexes. Self-aware references to trope he's about to indulge in. Wake up, see motherfucking writing on the wall. When you send Burrow-bitch 10 pages in, he's down to brawl. The fuck slappers, I see. What the hell? A text Omar to try to interrupt the casting of X. Komada, what an infamous fighter he was. Jobber has higher fight IQ than most of Omega's new cast. Attacks Oma, try to interrupt casting of X. Komada, what an infallible fighter he was. He tries punches Oma. Oma dodges it easily. I guess you're used to fighting after all. He punches again, he dodges to the left this time. He's way too fast for that giant body. Is he even human? Is he talking about this guy? Or Oma Tokita? They age Oma up from this later, didn't they? Yeah. Holy shit, it's like I'm fighting a Buddha statue. Grip, punch. He's gone off balance. Now's his chance. Oh, the bodybuilder stepped on the broken glass. And he almost fell. Nope, he's really going for. His job has higher fast IQ than most of us. Ah, he stepped on the broken glass and then he used it as shrapnel to with this kick to throw the sharpener at Oma. Nope, he's really going for. He kicks at the wall and wall is about almost broken. Look at the impact. He's all even shocked. One Piece face. True. He kicked right through a concrete wall. So those are steel-toed boots. I sure wouldn't want to be I sure wouldn't want to be on the business end of that. You're really irritating son of a bitch. Aha, I'm irritating, am I? He's no match for him. A thin, delicate man can easily defeat a giant. Is a plot of is a plot that abounds in fantasy, but in reality, strength and size are linked. The small may be small are overwhelmed by large, and soft are overrun by hard. That's what happens in real world, and there's no place for fantasy in real world. Come on, how long are you gonna keep running around? You picked this fight. Why don't you bring me some? But in reality, strength and size are linked. Kazi is green. Kazuma, I think that's what his name is. Sandwich annoying habit of trying to make himself seen above lazy battle manga tropes has been in manga since the very first chapter. Damn. I like grittiness of early kengan, but it probably was best that it got smoothed out as story went on. Tone became more saccharine with time went on, and the style won't work. Tone became more saccharine with time. Yeah, I regret the edginess. I I think he is saying that he misses the edginess even more than the old art style, or regret the edginess. Sure, here goes. Giant throws a punch, Oma ducks underneath it and throws a punch of himself. Oma's punch shatters the giant's face. Look at the fucking art, man. Real Carlos medal. This nigga face like a sledgehammer hitting a ham, has slight trickle of blood from his nose. The next page. He's still standing. Uh, oh, that hurt him? Yeah, of course it hurt him. He's tackling or he's rushing towards Oma. How it feels to recognize Sandoism, like you got it all wrong, jobber Russian, otherwise a good fight. Shia. Kevin Nigga's face like a sledgehammer hitting a ham. A slight trickle from the blood on his face from next page. Oh, that's what he was talking. Yeah, true. His face was basically caved in here, and here is just like a nosebleed. Oma throws a kick onto the giant's face. Giant's face is again crushed like a sledgehammer. He waves it off. Don't you just get it, do you? Just muscles aren't enough. I couldn't believe my eyes. This man, size of a hill, seemed to shrink before even my very eyes. Look at the art. No, because he's getting weak. We lost this smile of Oma. Julius Bros. Remember Sandro's original idea here was just to completely abandon Yamashita after this. The new actual secondary protagonist would have been some young Ikemen dude, and this chapter would have been no relevance to overall plot beside us telling Oma is cool. Yeah, it would have been better. I have just seen this anime and it's pretty good. He wasn't shrinking, the man in the tracksuit was getting bigger. He seemed unbelievably big that the Deva King looked like a pet to him because his aura is rising. So, do you understand which one of us is challenger here? Well, just keep that in mind and bring it. Like your life depends on it. Gege trace this. Yeah, true. Uh, he throws another punch. Give me a break. What? I just tell ya. He throws another punch. Oma Tohita grabs him, grabs his hand. I'll send the power of your lunge right back at you. Oma grapples him. Is that Nico style? Wait, I'm reading kengan. Oh no. He jerks off his hand and it's broken. Keech. Ah, looks like I dislocated it pretty neatly. Not done yet. Then he probably kicks him in the face. Not done yet? I don't think so. You're already done for. His face is even more fucked up now. He still stands up with his arm broken. Goes after Oma Tokita. Oma gives him a kick just for good measure. And finally he's done. Says Yamashita. The big guy is down. That ought to do it. Omatokita. Yeah. Raise a triumphant cry, you mighty champion. That was the fight, no principles at all. Omatokita walks past by Yamashita. Omatokita is pretty big, 6 feet tall. Not pretty big, he's kind of like average, but he's well built. Please tell me your name, says Yamashita. I just slipped out. I had nothing but utmost respect for this man, young enough to be my son. Tokita Oma. Tokita Oma. Is this witching hour? Even his name is strong. And what about you? Me? My name? My name is Yamashita Kazuo. Yamashita Kazuo, right? Got it. So, you wanna fight too? Iconic. What pressure? He's clearly not joking. He's serious. Chatter, chatter. I'll be killed. I can breathe. Hurry. I can't speak. No, I'm gonna suffocate first. No. Is that so? Damn. That's a damn shame. Oma walks out. What did Oma mean by this? True. Yamashita falls down just from the pressure of being under that he might have to fight Umatogita. He's sweaty all over. Kazuo Yamashita is 56 years old, a real straight shooter with a wife and kid, a middle-aged man who lived for nothing but drinking, gambling and shopping. Kazi got more game than Oma. True, he has a wife. No, Oma also has. Oh, but today, for the first time in 15 years, he slept with a woman. That was spurred on by poor horse. She doesn't deserve that. 56-year-old, 15 years of no sex, knocks up a prostitute. Yeah, life has gotten a lot more exciting. Cause he got more game than Oma. Survival instinct. Being exposed to bloodlust like that he has never experienced before, this man instinctively recognized a threat to his life. Kengan had this weird primal instinct thing going early on, cause he got more game than Oma. His corner instincts to choose preserve his seed as soon as possible. Of course, this entailed act of reproduction, but this man had no way of knowing the cause of his own behavior. This is actually hilarious. It should be a plot point. If you want to breed when close to death, old Japanese saying close. You want to breed when close to death. It's an old Japanese trope. Sounds like deformation of terminal investment hypothesis. Rolling ice fall. Poor girl, she doesn't deserve that. She got paid probably. As why do you assume it's a prostitute? Maybe because he raped a random skank. Then Omato Kita, weight 182 centimeter, weight 85 kilograms, age unknown, date of birth unknown, skills of sufficiency, least favorite food tomatoes. He doesn't eat tomato? I'm not gonna read this crap. Thanks, OP. You have to admit this is very good first chapter, just leaves you wanting to read more. Yeah. Thanks, OP. Thanks, everybody here. I'm not gonna read the entire stuff. I'm gonna read the these whenever somebody comments on stuff happening in the manga. But it was a good read. Thanks. This was comfy reading of Kengan Asura with the Emperor A and you guys. Good luck. Bye. He also posted chapter 2, so let's just begin from here. Chapter 2, Mr. Yamashita. Chapter 2, Kengan. You haven't met your quota this month, have you? Nogi Publishing Second Sales Department Manager Matsuo Hiroshi. I'm terribly sorry, I swear I'll do better next month. Second Sales Department Kazuo Yamashita. Next month, eh? Is that what you say every month? Frankly speaking, that doesn't carry any weight at all. There goes the manager picking on Yamashita again. So he basically gets bullied by his boss. He pushes all the tough cases on Yamashita, then acts like he doesn't know. Talk about being nasty. Yamashita really ought to stand up for himself and talk back to him. No, that will never happen. Yes, you're exactly. He's got a lot of attitude for a kid who got his job just because of nepotism. Yamashita thinks in his head. Yamashita thinks in his head, if I was only as strong as him, I'd grab this fucking manager and do this to him. Bubsy is my favorite fighter. Isn't talking back to superior in Nippon that sentence? Yeah, Japanese are pretty strict. Not that sentence, but it's pretty. What am I? Stupid? I shouldn't be here bowing my head if I could. I wouldn't be here bowing my head if I could do that. Pardon me. Boss, you needed to see me. You could have called me to your office. Here comes the boss. Boss, if you needed to see me, you could have called me to your office. Is something urgent? No, not with you. Yamashita's here. Someone wants to have a word with you in private. So I need you to see him at once. No, don't post that. Don't post that. AI. Yamashita. Boss. Who's someone? Who are you talking about? Yamashita. What did you do? Pardon? Is this the first time somebody used quotes? Is this corporation? Nogi Corporation. CEO's office. I'm glad you could make it. Sorry for interrupting your busy schedule. CEO of Nogi Group, Nogi Hideki. Nogi Publishing, Second Sales Department, Yamashita Kazuo. No, it's perfectly fine, really. CEO personally requesting to see an employee. Dad in a dead end job at his subsidiary can't be normal. What did I do? Walter from Helsing really cleaned up his act after fighting Alucard, head of company and everything now. Enter the perfectly fine spirit. I'm sure no one sure will do no stupid decision whatever. Conflict. What do you think the best method of resolving conflict is? Conflict, indeed. To put it simply, there are countless methods: arbitration, negotiation, persuasion. But what particularly effective method is? Violence. Violence? What is he talking about? It's nothing that ought to surprise you. You surprise your opposing forces with violence. That's that overwhelms them. It's incredibly simple line of reasoning, and of course, Nogi Group has hardly been an exception. This goes back 300 years ago. It was Shotoku years. Nation was at peace, but in its dark recess there was ceaselessly bloody conflict between merchants. What they desired was status of shogunate's purveyor. Shogunate's purveyor, the highest rank amongst all merchant purveyors, possessed a great privilege, including a monopoly on purveying goods to the shogunate in every industry, even mining. In other words, it was a position that all other merchants were foaming at the mouth to obtain. Shogunate's purveyor. They would obtain it by any means necessary. Intimidation, conspiracy, even assassination. They used every means they had to get rid of the competition. This conflict gave rise to new grudges. A spiral of hatred arose from it. Eventually, not even the merchants themselves could control ever expanding cycle of violence, and the world was becoming a constant battlefield. Why did Nogi stop using his telepathic powers? Then then that didn't solve the conflict at all. Excellent observation. It's true, violence can be an effective safeguard, but that is only when it is regulated violence. Anarchic violence does not bring anything but tyranny. So the times were calling for a chain to control the spear. It was not merchants that brought that chain. Se- Seventh shogun of Tokugawa shogunate Tokugawa Ieyasu H5 summoned the merchants that were at heart of this quarrel. Give them an order. If you wish to settle this conflict, then battle it out fair and square. It was truly a childlike, simple, and candid proposal. Not a single one of them had ever reached this simple conclusion on their own. Overwhelmed by merciful gaze of young shogun, they felt ashamed by their own shortcomings. As you command, all the merchants says them. Violence brought order. Merchants formed the guild. If there was a conflict of interest, they would establish a venue of competition through the guild. The result of that competition were indisputable, and any other conflict was strictly forbidden. A method that competition was incredibly simple, a one-on-one fight. Over, Overwhelming primordial violence. Confident fighters hired by each side would settle their differences in the merchant's place. Violence was sublimated into martial arts. The battles were held under the guild members' supervision until one side fell. Some of my ancestors were members of the guild. You could say that it was their effort that allowed Nogi Group to expand where it is today. I don't know what he's trying to say. Edo period guild fighting, what is he talking? What I see very informative. Even if that all even if that all was true, why is CEO telling me all this? Do you Yamashita thinks in his head. Do you know why I'm telling you this? Huh? Why is a Japanese man using orthodox boxing stance in 1711? Yeah, true. They're just nitpicking. This isn't just an old folk story. It's a traditional method of competition that is still being passed down by merchants to this day. No, you really don't need to joke to me with this. He doesn't seem to be joking. Wait, don't tell me it's true. Even after Tokugawa shogunate fell, the merchants continued this method of competition unbroken in order to settle conflict. They wouldn't trust their desires of the fist of fighters, their desires to the fists of fighters. The Kangen matches. Kangen matches. To tell the truth, our company is scheduled for a match soon with a certain rights at stake. But we've run into a bit of problem. The man we had hired suddenly became unable to fight in the match due to personal reason, so we had to look for a replacement fighter on short notice. You don't mean to you don't mean you want me to fight? Of course not. In retrospect, it's pretty funny that Nogi is supposed to be a big player in Kengan Association even before, and yet he was relying on a shitter like Deva, or if he was really serious, Atsumi. Who the fuck were the other companies hiring that they had even chance of losing? Asked a stupid question, CEO is actually shocked for a moment. Yeah, he's shocked. Well, that's not a bad idea, but unfortunately, I don't think that will be necessary. While we were looking for a new fighter, someone came pitching in himself, so we decided to let him handle the match. Here he comes now. That's not a bad idea. Foreshadowing gods. Basically, yeah, it happens in future. Ah, huh? Aren't you dead? Yeah, don't tell me it's him, Omatokita. He's the replacement fighter. Allow me to introduce you. This is our fighter, Tokita Uma. Yamashita Kazuo, right? Nice to see you again. What a coincidence. Have you two met? All the better. Yamashita Kazuo appointing you as Tokita's manager. Tokita, just let him know if you need anything. Thanks. That wraps it up and you're dismissed from your work for the rest of the day. You can go ahead and start hammering things out with Tokita. I'll fill you in on the details later. Are you sure about this? Can we trust him? The Komada. The man that defeated Komada Deva King was most likely most likely him. I know. That's why I hired him. You think there are many people in the world that could have beaten Komada? Tokita Uma, he is good. Fine. What about him? Yamashita Kazuo, why did you reveal existence of Kengan matches to a mere employee of subsidiary? I'm sure there are others that would be more qualified as his manager. Kaede looks so much better with the fiercer look. Komada does seem to be oddly popular in Kengan matches. Remember, Komada was just Nogi's substitute when Hatsumi flaked on him, then went back to work under Lehito. Cause apparently Uma beat his ass so hard he was unemployable. Some of the strongest guys in Kengan aren't even regular Kengan fighters. A lot of them were just hired on for the cat, then bailed to go back to doing their own thing afterwards. Only Guo Lang is considerably involving himself in underground match despite being a prince's bodyguard because Sandro recognizes that Guolong brings in sea of fans. Just a whim, I guess, Mr. Nogi. Aha, don't get your panties in a bunch. I may have hired Tokita Uma, but that's not to say that I trust him. So I've given him someone to be a manager and overseer for him. That's all there is to it. That doesn't explain why he chose him. I guess he has no intention of explaining himself. Tokita Uma. I can wait to find out why he is interested in Kazi. I'm sure it will be important plot relevant, not just an excuse to justify having a character with outsider's point of view. Yeah, basically why? Oh, because of his son, I remember. I'm going to find out just what kind of man you are. Hey, wait. Oma waits. Something wrong, Yamashita Kazuo. Why are you using my full name? Tokita, I really think you should decline the offer. Fighting's still a crime. I don't know what the hell CEO is. Hey, let's go get some food. Okay. Nope, I can't do this. Let's get let's go get some food. The instant this man uttered such an innocent and everyday face, it became overwhelming force that could not even be denied. Reconsidering doesn't even exist as an option for the man named Tokita Oma. Making this man change his mind is absolutely impossible. Come on, let's go. You're getting covered for our expenses, right? Oh, our expensive. I don't even know. You can see that this is Yamashita's bubble and this is Omatokita's bubble, just by the way it's written. Done. Ah, good times. Ah, Tokita, don't order anything too expensive because he has limited budget. Tokita, are you listening to me? Tokita, 7 days until Kangaroo is done. Good times. Thanks, OP. Chapter 2 directly follows Chapter 1. It's all connected, all of it. Oh, yeah. Walter from Helsing. Yeah, he looks out. Oma will return to us. This Uma will return to us. Only if you win against Santos style. I'm not going to read this part. Okay, thanks. This was comfy reading with the Emperor A and you guys. Tuning for next episode.